You ever notice how people are terrified of standing out? Oh, they'll tell you they love individuality. They'll tell you they admire our free spirits and unique personalities. But watch what happens the second somebody actually does something different. Everybody freezes. The room gets quiet. The whispers start. What's wrong with him? Why is she doing that? That's not normal. People love individuality in theory. In practice, they want you to look, talk, and act just like everybody else. That's what conformity is, the world's biggest inside joke. Everybody wants to be special, as long as it's in exactly the same way. Look at fashion. Nothing exposes conformity like fashion. Every few years, there's some new trend, some must-have item of clothing, and suddenly the whole planet's wearing the same damn thing. In the 70s, bell-bottoms. 80s, shoulder pads. 90s, baggy jeans. Doesn't matter if it looks ridiculous. Doesn't matter if it makes you look like a lampshade with legs. If everyone else is wearing it, you wear it too. Because if you don't, you're weird. And being weird is the one crime society never forgives. And the best part? People think they're choosing their style. They really believe it. I bought this jacket because I like it. No, you didn't. You bought it because 10,000 ads, 3 magazines, and your neighbor's kid told you this year's respectable human being wears that jacket. The choice was made for you. They just gave you a catalog and let you pick the color. That's not individuality. That's shopping with training wheels. Even haircuts are conformity. Every decade has a haircut that everyone rushes to get. All the guys line up at the barber, all the women hit the salon, and they come out looking like clones. Then they walk around complimenting each other. I love your hair. Of course you do. It looks exactly like yours. That's why you love it. People don't want unique hair, they want acceptable hair. Try walking around with something truly different. Shave half your head, paint the rest purple, and see how long it takes before your boss calls you in for a chat about professionalism. They won't say it outright, but what they mean is, stop standing out, you're making the rest of us nervous. Nervous. And don't get me started on language. Even the words you use have to fit in. People invent trendy slang and everyone adopts it overnight. Suddenly every conversation is littered with the same buzzwords. At the end of the day, we'll think outside the box. We're going forward. It's like parrots in business suits. Nobody's saying anything original, they're just trading slogans like baseball cards. And if you don't use the buzzwords, people think you're behind, out of touch. It's not enough to communicate. You gotta communicate in the approved lingo of the month. Otherwise, no respect for you. And laughter. Oh, laughter is conformity at its purest. Go to any office meeting, watch when the boss cracks a terrible joke. It doesn't matter if it's funny. The room explodes with laughter because you don't laugh at the joke, you laugh at the hierarchy. You laugh because everyone else is laughing. And God help you if you don't. Sit there stone-faced and suddenly you're the office problem. What, isn't he laughing? Does he not like the boss? They don't care about humor, they care about allegiance. That's what conformity is. Laughing when you're supposed to, clapping when you're supposed to, nodding on cue. It's not joy, it's obedience with sound effects. School is where the conformity training really begins. Oh yeah, school isn't about learning, it's about rehearsing. They line you up, they tell you where to sit, when to speak, when to eat, when to pee. You raise your hand, you wait for permission, you copy the answers. Every bell rings, and you shuffle to the next box like cattle in sneakers. And if you question it, if you say, why are we doing this? You're labeled a troublemaker. School doesn't reward curiosity. It rewards compliance. Memorize, repeat, forget, move on. That's the system. By the time you graduate, you've mastered the most important lesson of all, how to fit in without asking why. And once you're out of school, the conformity doesn't stop. It just changes uniforms. Now it's the workplace. Cubicles and dress codes. Coffee breaks at the approved times. The boss says, we're a family here. Oh, really? Then why do you dock me for being late? Families don't do that. Families don't put your bathroom breaks on a spreadsheet. But everyone plays along. Everyone nods. Because that's the rule. We pretend you're happy to be part of the machine. Put up the motivational posters, celebrate the corporate holidays, laugh at the boss's jokes, and pray you don't stand out. Because standing out means they notice you. And being noticed in the wrong way is dangerous. Not physically dangerous, socially dangerous. The danger of being the odd one out. And conformity isn't just about behavior, it's about beliefs. People inherit beliefs the same way they inherit furniture. They don't question it, they just arrange it in the living room and pretend it belongs there. This is what we believe, this is what we think, this is what we value. Did you pick those beliefs yourself? Did you test them, examine them, hold them up to the light? Or did somebody hand them to you when you were 5 and you never put them down? Most people don't have beliefs, they have hand-me-downs. They've been passed along for generations, like a family heirloom. Nobody likes, but everyone feels obligated to keep. And the really funny thing is people fight to defend those hand-me-downs. They'll argue, they'll yell, they'll cut off friendships over beliefs they didn't even choose. It's like wearing someone else's shoes and insisting they fit. But that's conformity. You don't just wear the shoes, you convince yourself they're comfortable even when your toes are bleeding. Look at holidays. Nothing shows conformity like holidays. Every year, the same decorations, the same songs, the same rituals. People don't even like it half the time, but they do it anyway. We gotta put up the lights, we gotta make the turkey, we gotta buy the gifts. Why? Well, because that's what we do. That's the only reason. Because that's the tradition. Nobody remembers the meaning, nobody questions the logic, they just repeat it like a chant. You don't celebrate because you want to, you celebrate because everyone else is. And if you don't, if you skip the ritual, suddenly you're the Grinch, the Scrooge, the weirdo. They'll drag you back into conformity with guilt. And food is conformity with flavor. Every culture, every group, every family has the right food. If you eat the approved meal, you're one of us. If you don't, you're suspicious. Bring something unusual to a potluck and watch how people react. Oh, what's that? I don't know if I can eat that. They don't care what it tastes like. They care if it's familiar. Conformity is safety. New is danger, even on the smallest plate. Then there's music. Music trends are the same cycle every time. One style gets popular, everyone copies it. Radio plays it until your ears bleed, and suddenly, that's the only acceptable soundtrack of the year. Try listening to something different and you're the weirdo again. What do you mean you don't like this band? Everyone likes this band. No, not everyone. Just everyone who's afraid of being the odd one out. And you notice conformity even in silence. People can't stand silence. You ever sit in a group and just not say anything? Oh, they'll fill it quick. They can't have one person sitting there outside the flow, outside the rhythm. They'll drag you in with a question, force you to speak. Because silence makes you stand out, and standing out is unacceptable. Better to babble about nothing than risk being different. The irony is, people worship individuality while practicing conformity. They'll tell you, be yourself, be original. Don't be afraid to stand out. And then the second you actually do, they punish you for it. They don't want individuality, they want conformity with a little decoration. They want you to stand out just enough to be interesting, but not enough to be uncomfortable. They want you to color outside the lines, as long as it's still on the same damn page. And we all play along because it's easier. It's easier to nod, to laugh, to wear the same shoes, eat the same food, listen to the same songs, say the same words. It's easier to be part of the crowd than to stand alone. But easy isn't the same as real. Easy isn't the same as honest. Easy is just safe, and safe is boring. The comedy of conformity is that everyone's pretending to be normal, but nobody knows what normal is. It's just whatever the group decided last week. Normal shifts, normal changes, normal is a moving target. And we're all scrambling to hit it, afraid of being left behind. But the joke's on us. Because there is no normal. There never was. It's all a costume party. And the costumes change every season. You can spend your whole life chasing them, but you'll never catch up. You'll just be another actor reading lines, laughing on cue, standing in line, doing the dance. And the only thing you can really do wrong, the only unforgivable sin in the Church of Conformity, is to stop pretending. That's when the show falls apart. You ever notice how life is basically just a giant collection of rules that nobody remembers agreeing to? Like somewhere along the line, someone scribbled down these little instructions on how to behave, and the rest of us just nodded. Yeah, sure, sounds good. I'll live my whole life by that. Nobody asked questions. Nobody said, wait a second, why the hell do we do it this way? We just went along with it because it was already in place when we showed up. We were born into the play, no rehearsal, no casting call. And when we get on stage, they just tell us, stand here, clap when everyone else claps. Don't fart too loud in church. And we go, okay, got it. Take greetings, for example. Shaking hands, what the hell is that? You meet another human being and the rule is, grip their hand, wiggle it around for 2 seconds, then let go. Who invented this? Was there a council somewhere that said, yeah, this is how civilized people meet? Not a hug, not a nod, and not a dance. No, we're gonna squeeze each other's sweaty meat mitts. That's the plan. And then you better do it right, too. Too weak and you're a coward, too strong and you're a psycho. There's a whole hidden rating system behind the damn thing. A casual little moment is secretly a personality test. And if your hand is clammy, forget it. Your entire reputation is ruined before you even say hello. And let's not forget the fake smile. Oh, the fake smile is required. You gotta plaster it on your face like you're auditioning for toothpaste commercial. Doesn't matter if you hate the person, if you don't remember their name, or if they just ran over your cat, you smile. Because society says it's rude not to. We don't mean it, but we perform it. We walk around with these prepackaged expressions like we've been programmed. You don't meet people, you meet masks. And when someone doesn't follow the script, someone doesn't smile, doesn't shake hands, everyone panics. And what's wrong with him? He didn't say hello properly. Maybe he just doesn't want to play your little charade. And that's just greetings. That's just the beginning of the damn day. Then you got the eating rules. Oh boy. You gotta use the right fork, hold it in the right hand, chew with your mouth closed, don't talk with food in your mouth, don't slurp, don't burp, don't lick your plate, don't. The list is endless. Eating, which should be one of the most natural, joyful, and satisfying activities, has been turned into a goddamn performance review. Imagine some caveman from 10,000 years ago sitting down with us now. He tears into a mammoth leg, grease running down his beard, and we lean over and whisper, excuse me, could you maybe use the salad fork for that? The caveman would club us to death with the mammoth bone. He's thinking of food good meat. Meanwhile, we're worried about whether our elbows are on the table. And speaking of elbows on the table, what was so threatening about elbows? Why was this such a scandal? Somebody must have had an elbow-related trauma in history. Some king must have been killed by a rogue elbow, and from then on they said, all right, no more elbows on the table. It's disrespectful. Disrespectful to who? The table? What's it gonna do? File a complaint. Then there's clothing rolls. Society loves to dictate how you wrap yourself up before you're allowed in public. You can't just wear what you want. Oh no, you gotta wear what's appropriate. That magical word, appropriate. Who decides what's appropriate? A committee? A board meeting? A board meeting? Somewhere a group of uptight people decided that shorts are okay here, but not there. Sandals are fine here, but not there. Ties are mandatory, even if it feels like you're strangling yourself all day. A piece of fabric tied around your neck determines whether you're a professional. Think about that. A tie is just a noose that didn't finish the job, and yet, if you don't have one, suddenly you're not respectable. And hats. Don't even get me started on hats. Some buildings you must take them off. Others you can keep them on. Why? Tradition. That's the excuse for everything. Tradition, which is just peer pressure from dead people. Somebody 100 years ago said, take your hat off inside, and we've all been obeying ever since, even though nobody remembers why. We've just been trained to panic if someone leaves their hat on. A hat, for crying out loud. A little fabric dome on your skull is apparently a symbol of your morality. Let's move on to speech rules. You can't just say what you want to say. You gotta say it nicely. You gotta phrase it the right way, hit the right tone, use the right words. You can't be too direct, you can't be too honest, you gotta pad everything with politeness. Somebody says, how are you? And you're supposed to say, fine. Always a fine. Even if you're dying, even if your house just burned down, even if your life is falling apart, the rule is, say a fine. Because nobody really wants to know, they just want to check the box. And if you break that rule, if you actually tell them how you're doing, you watch the horror spread across their face. No, he's not playing along. He's not saying, fine, what do we do now? And let's not forget small talk. Small talk is the king of pointless rules. The weather, always the weather. Every conversation begins with, not enough for you, or it looks like rain, as if the other person is in charge of the goddamn atmosphere. Like you're gonna say, yeah, you know what, I ordered the humidity. I'll have it dialed back by Thursday. But no, you gotta play along. Because silence terrifies people. Can't just exist next to each other without filling the air with nonsense. A nice day, huh? Yeah, real nice. That's the rule. Exchange empty syllables to prove you're normal. Then there's standing in line, the sacred cue. You can't cut, can't shuffle, can't breathe too close to the person ahead of you. You gotta respect a personal space, another invention. A bubble of imaginary air around each body that no one's allowed to break. And if you do, the alarms go off. You don't hear them, but trust me, they're there. People stiffen up, give you the side eye, shuffle forward, reclaim their 3 feet of space like it's prime real estate. And if someone cuts the line, forget it. Civilization collapses. The whole system comes crashing down. He cut in front of me? It's a primal scream, like you've just been robbed of your human dignity. You weren't going anywhere faster anyway, but that doesn't matter. The rules were violated. And society can't function without its precious little lines. Think about how we even sit. There are rules for sitting. Cross your legs this way. Don't spread them too wide. Don't slouch. Sit up straight. Posture police are everywhere. And yet, what's the real purpose of a chair? Comfort. That's it. But society found a way to turn it into another performance, like your spinal alignment is a measure of your worth. The truth is, most of these rules don't make sense. They never did. They're not about logic, they're about control. They're about making sure everyone behaves predictably so nobody rocks the boat. Society loves predictability. It doesn't want real people, it wants obedient actors. It hands you a script when you're born, and most of us never question it. We just recite our lines. Shake hands, smile, say, fine, eat with the right fork, wait in line, wear a tie, don't put your elbows on the table. We spend our lives following orders nobody remembers writing. And the funniest part, we enforce these rules on each other. Nobody's forcing us, not really. We do it ourselves. Somebody breaks the norm and the rest of us jump in. Hey, you can't do that. We become the unpaid security guards of tradition. It's like we're all part of the same absurd cult, and the punishment for heresy is a dirty look, maybe a whispered complaint. But deep down, everybody's afraid of being the one who gets noticed, the one who doesn't play along. So we follow the rules. We act civilized. We shake hands, we say a fine. We talk about the weather, we chew with our mouths closed. We keep our elbows off the damn table. Also, nobody gets uncomfortable. Also, the fragile little illusion of order can keep spinning. But here's the thing. Life's not orderly. It never was. Life's messy, it's unpredictable, it's human. And when you peel away all those rules, you find out the truth. Most of what we call a normal is just a giant practical joke.